I'm going to talk a little about the difference between the journey of seeking, the endlessness of seeking, and the truth of ripening, maturing, and cooking on the path, and how the two differ in so many ways. So let me start with this poem by Rumi, The Chickpea to the Cook. A chickpea leaps almost over the rim of the pot where it's being boiled. Why are you doing this to me? The cook knocks it down with the ladle. Don't you try to jump out. You think I'm torturing you, but I'm giving you flavor so you can mix with spices and rice and be the lovely vitality of a human being. Remember when you drank rain in the garden? That was for this. Gradually, the chickpea softens, absorbs the heat, and begins to understand the cook's wisdom. You are not being punished, you are being cooked, and it is in that cooking that your true fragrance is released. The habitual tendency is to search. Nothing wrong with searching. It's only the preoccupation with finding, and then the tendency of the mechanism of mind to get applied to the habituation of the cycle of searching. Because searching in itself, and even finding nuggets along the way, doesn't ultimately satisfy. And that's a difficult one, because searching, certainly on the spiritual path, is what we know. So what I'm speaking to here, in many ways, is the understanding, if you like, or awareness that there has to be something else, as well as the ongoing, endless searching, because most searching happens in the linearity, in the horizontal dimension, meaning we search through time and we receive information, and some of that information, like I said, has nuggets of wisdom, jewels, insights, awareness, ahas, epiphanies, realizations along the way. But it's not those that change us. It's not those that bring peace, lasting peace. It's not those that actually get us deeper into a deeper acceptance and a deeper surrender. And what does get us into deeper acceptance and deeper surrender is the ripening on the path. The ripening is what happens while we're busy searching, depending, and this is the key, on the sincerity and devotion we carry within ourselves. If the fire in you, if the fire of longing, if the fire of sincerity, if the fire of devotion is strong enough, is full, is 100%, then that ripening, that cooking, that chickpea cooking happens by life. Not because of your doing, not because of your searching, not just because of the nuggets you find along the way, but because the sincerity that you've brought becomes the fire that burns through all that needs to be burnt through. And I think this is almost a hidden knowledge, almost a hidden wisdom that happens, that is always worth considering. It's not all in the search. A lot of it happens in the cooking and in the ripening. We can use any metaphor. You know, if you hothouse an apple or a fruit, if you ripen it too fast, or just tear it off the tree when you think it's ready, when you want it to be ready, like we do with so many, fruits in the store, then it's tasteless. It either won't ripen or it'll have to be ripened artificially. That's us. Many arrive at mental understanding. Many arrive at a good understanding of spiritual liberation, of freedom, of non-duality, of unity, of self-realization, all of these things, but it hasn't been cooked in them. It's the cooking that does it. It's the ripening over time. And we don't want that, because that means you can't have it now, but neither can you just wait. This is a great irony. In my, when I did my, when I first stumbled into the shaman's camp and the wise one, I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't searching for anything. There was no internet. There were no, I was like, I didn't realize what I was searching for. I was just in pain. So I was just dealing with, what he invited me to deal with, which was to sit in 10,000 sweat lodges, to take part in endless ceremonies, to sing songs of the deepest longing and sorrow to the universe and to nature, to commit, to jump in the pool, the freezing Welsh waters at 6 o'clock in the damn morning when it was frozen, to tear off the veils, to listen to the stories of ancient Irish mythology, to read endlessly Rumi poems without understanding what on earth was being spoken to look into the I Am That by Nisargadatta endlessly without knowing anything that he was talking about and without anybody ever explaining it to me. But he's not going to explain it to me. It was just, let this cook you. And he didn't even say that. So nobody cared, nobody looked, nobody was searching, I don't think. I don't know what other people were doing. By and by, which is my favorite phrase, if you continue on the path with sincerity. And what is this sincerity? This sincerity is settling for nothing less than peace, depth, the unveiling, the end of the ego self-creating narration, the end of the past that just keeps pouring into the present with all of its woes, with all of its troubles, with all of its grievances. We've gotten so used to carrying that bag around that we don't even imagine what it's like to actually, attend to very, very, with deep sincerity, the end of carrying around the bag. Not by denying it, not even sometimes by processing it. Sometimes, of course. But sometimes it's almost like in these days that we're in, we've invested too much in the techniques to get rid of this problem, in the processes to resolve this issue from the past. We over-therapize ourselves, overdo it. And that's good, but not when it takes away from, what we can actually do ourselves. which is to burn it up with our sincerity. I'm a big fan of sincerity. It's like it brings totality, a totality on the path. You know, let's talk about the totality. Settle for nothing, but the totality of being. And so over time, you get it wrong. You screw up, you make mistakes, you fall off, you screw up. Tears are shed. Grief happens, sorrow happens, anger, that unmentionable quality on the spiritual path. Anger, felt. What is this right? Is this right? Should I be feeling this? Should I not be feeling this? And all we know is our own experience, ultimately. To be sincere in meeting whatever arises. That's the great thing. By and by, we're cooked in the pot of life, in the pot of our own transformation, in the pot of all that is natural, because we're falling out of the unnatural into the natural. But you see, in many ways, it has nothing to do with seeking and finding. People I work with are tired of the endless spiritual journey. So it's like, well, stop seeking. Stop seeking. Fall inwards. Be the ripening. Be here. Stop. Let it come to you. Don't give up in a sort of lazy way. It's not that sort of thing. Oh, I stopped seeking and now I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's like, stop seeking. Stay here. Be here. Be in the pot. Be in the pot. Stop trying to escape the pot. Be in the pot and allow life to ripen you. And then, by and by, something softer starts to happen. The beauty of you starts to be released. When the beauty of us, when the depth of us is released, it begins to be released. Then something new starts happening. Something more tender about us starts happening. Something more exquisite, something more natural starts to be released from us. This is the fragrance. This is the fragrance that we carry, that we're unaware of. Only a whisper do we feel of our true nature. Only a whisper, only a hint, only a glimpse do we sense of ourselves and of life. Far off sometimes in the distance, or far, far deep inside, like a faint call in the distance calling us home to ourselves. That's what I'm talking about. Listen to that one. That faint, call that is in you. That's not mental. It's like deeper. It's in the soul. It's in the spirit. It's in the belly. It's in the ancientness of us. You hear it. You feel it. You see it. You know it. Yes, it's distant. We don't find that through knowledge. You don't find that in the books. You find it alluded to in the books. But in the books, the wisest books always point us inside ourselves. They always point us to the same place or the same journey within ourselves. And say, this is your cooking. To know this, to sense this, to taste this. So don't worry so much about the spiritual seeking. Attend only to the ripening of the chickpea that is you, of the tenderizing of that which you already are, and let the natural fragrance of your essence start to be released somehow.